Welcome to Break a Wish, the podcast where all your dreams come true, but with terrible, ironic consequences. I'm your host, Maddox Campbell. On each show, we take a magic wish and try to come up with the perfect ironic cost. The idea is that knowing the wish's cost, it would still be a tough call whether you take that wish or not. Last week we had, you get a stable career as a writer, but you can only ghostwrite work for other people, and no one will ever believe that it's your work. We had 100% of people accept this wish on Twitter and on the Facebook discussion group. I'm thinking my audience might have a unusually high number of writers, and apparently people lacking in vanity. For this week, we're seeking a sponsorship with Acme Industries. Ryan Allen on Twitter said, "I wish I was an animated character." I sit down with Taylor Davis and Chelsea Larkin to ink out this wish. We got a new wish coming in. I'm excited for this wish, but first, let's see who we're chatting with. We're chatting with Taylor Davis.
Hello.
And Chelsea Larkin.
Ahoy, hoy.
And the wish we're breaking down today is, I wish I was an animated character. So I think before we even get into coming up our cause for that, we're going to have to figure out what exactly that means. What do you guys think it means to become an animated character?
Well, I guess, so let's go firstly, like, is it any animation? Like, do you have to stay that animated character, or can you, like, mutate that has, like, if it's like Looney Tunes, you become, like, multiple different characters, or... Because I'm starting to, it can't help but make me think of, like, Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
That's exactly what I was thinking of,
I think we're
too.
all thinking that the best. Because I think if you're an animated character, the world isn't necessarily animated around you, but you'd work on animated character logic. Like, specifically you.
And what you could do would be limited to...
So based off of that film, we got immortality.
Yeah.
Well, there were some ways to kill them, wasn't there?
Well, the dip.
I haven't seen it all the way through. And
What?
I'm sorry.
You can't run this podcast.
I can't run it at all?
Pause this. We watch My Friend Roger Rabbit.
Don't have time for that.
Christopher Lloyd's character, but he had the dip. So he'd created something where you basically disintegrate.
And that was the only way for them to die?
The only way for them to die.
Oh, okay.
I think they can still feel pain, but it's more animated. Like, it's silly pain.
Yeah.
Like, they don't mind.
I assumed there was resistance to death. Like, you could take way more of a hit, and a lot of things that should kill you wouldn't.
No, there were still anvils being dropped on heads.
Yeah.
And things like that were happening.
But when that happens in cartoons, they don't usually die. They're just...
They don't die.
They don't ever die, yeah.
Yeah, I guess, like, if you go in, the Looney Tunes logic of that type of world, characters just survive anything.
Yeah. And
there are other animated shows where people do die, but they still take more of a punch. I guess we have to go on Looney Tunes-esque rules,
I feel like that's what they mean by an animated character.
It seems like it's... when I read the wish, I thought it was animated character in, like, a real world.
Yeah.
A real 3D world. And what about... Remember that movie with Brad Pitt, like, Too Cool or something like that?
Yeah.
Cool World, I
Cool,
believe. Is the name of it?
Cool. That's not what it's called.
Cool World, but
Cool World. Was that
I sadly
similar?
didn't see this either.
So Cool World is like he turns an animated character into a real person. It's like the opposite.
okay.
But he does sleep with her once she's still animated.
Yes, that's what I'm remembering.
That's what I remember, because I remember as a kid seeing it, I was like,
I was like, I don't get it. That means I can sleep with Sylvester when I grow up.
When you grow up, you just assume that was
I just added when I grow up.
entirely plausible. That
Sylvester was your go-to?
For sex with Sylvester. I just ruined your microphone, Maddox.
He would get you wet.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Okay,
it would be terrible.
Yeah, I know, it would be bad.
He would still be the size of a cat, I feel.
But he would
Isn't
know
he
pussy.
person size though, Sylvester? Like, if he's standing next to someone who's human, like Elmer
he's pretty
Fudd.
big.
Elmer Fudd's a short
he shouldn't
human.
be a cat. He's very fluffy like a cat. Like, he has the giant, like, cheek whiskers.
But I feel like he always stood like a person.
Yeah, I think he's like person size. But let's not get too much into the logistics of sex with Sylvester Stallone.
Not Stallone. No, Sylvester.
Where's that coming from?
I don't know what
sex with
that is.
Sylvester Stallone. To be honest, if I had the choice between having sex with Sylvester
Sylvester the
Stallone
cat.
in his prime,
I think I just said the word Sylvester and Stallone came out.
but the choice between the two, I'm probably going to take the human just because I think I would understand how it would work.
How it work? Yeah,
Because
the
I don't
logistics.
know what's going to happen, what diseases
that's
this
true.
cartoon cat's going to have.
Also, I will
Also,
just
it's
get this
cat.
out of the way.
Sure.
I think one of the first crushes I know I had, like not on an animated character, but in life, was I think on the squirrel from The Sword and the Stone. Was there a squirrel in that movie?
There was
in
a
Sword in the
squirrel.
Stone, Merlin turns Arthur into a squirrel, and they each and Merlin turns himself into a squirrel. So they each are squirrels, but they each meet two female squirrels. One who is like who Arthur is like Arthur. The one is in love with Arthur, and it's very very like giggly. And then there's the really grotesque one that's chasing Merlin.
But that means that you were in love with a squirrel version of either Merlin or Arthur.
I think it was Arthur, and I definitely wanted. I think I also wanted Alvin from the Chipmunks. Like I.
So you have a clear squirrel fetish.
This is why you wanted to do this wish, this animated.
I think I just wanted to. I wanted to be the girl, and so the girl obviously has to be with the boy. Squirrel or cat.
They don't have to be. Let's not say that as a
Okay,
statement.
Political on squirrel sex.
Okay, moving on.
So I think here are some things that we'll go immortal to trauma. I think they can, even if you become animated, because we're still humans, I think you could still die of old age.
All right, so we're going to say for the sake of this wish,
Yeah.
it's
You're animated. You'll still hurt.
Wait,
but
so you're not going to be that was my question. Was like, are we an animated character? Like, is there a character? Like, are we like a weird animal of some sort? Or are we just ourselves?
I think you're
animated?
yourself animated. Yeah.
Well, that's boring.
I mean, you'd be an exaggerated caricature version of yourself.
Ah.
I hope he's cool.
Well, listener, please give us a drawing. I'll post a picture of Taylor Davis, draw him as a cartoon, and we'll see.
Make him as cool as
I just can't
We'll make him
imagine
as cool as possible.
It's possible.
To be
Part
anything,
squirrel.
I look like Bob Hoskins from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, a short, bald, chubby guy.
You just need a hat.
But he's my favorite part.
I agree.
I think we'd also have the ability you could walk on air as long as you don't notice.
Yes, but then you will fall. But you'll have a chance to look at the camera before you fall and put up a sign if you want.
Yeah.
What about so if you're animated, or if we are animated, what are the rules about, like, are we 2D or?
So I think we're in a 3D world, but I think everyone would treat us as though we're normal. In Who Framed Roger Rabbit, everyone just sort of accepts it's normal. Like, you can see that they're a cartoon.
They're a Toontown. They all live in Toontown. You might see animated people outside of Toontown, and it's not.
They still
unnormal.
interact. Yeah. It's not like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, I think people would react to you like, oh, you're an animated person. I, for some reason, know what that's like. And like, they would understand the rules that apply to you.
That's not in the wish, because that could be a cost that you can be animated, but everyone thinks you're a freak.
Okay.
Okay,
I mean, I think we should put it, unless you put it in the cost, everyone just sort of treats you as like, that's a thing.
Okay.
All right, so then if it is a thing, there's other animated people out there.
I don't think necessarily. I think just for some reason, everyone goes like, oh, I've seen animated things. I understand how you work.
So I guess what I'm trying to get to the bottom of it, what is the advantage of this being a wish? Like,
We've
what's
already said immortal.
So the immortality is what really the only advantage. I guess
So there's another thing that, this is probably the thing that I would want most from this, would be the idea that you can produce things by reaching behind your back and pulling it out.
that's what that's the first thing.
Oh, I want that
Like
so
a
bad.
full piano.
A full piano, or just the idea, like, I don't like carrying my shit around on me. Like, I don't like having things in my pockets. I don't have to carry a bag.
If you were a squirrel, you could carry them in your mouth.
Okay, great. But the idea of like, hey, I need to have like a hammer. Great. There's a hammer behind my back because I reach behind my back. There's a
So
hammer
we can
now.
produce things that we need.
Yeah.
And also would be really good is cleaning up your house so you just become a tornado.
Yes.
And you run through the house like in 10 seconds and the whole
So
house
all
is
those
spotless.
rules
You could get
apply.
changed by running into a closet and then just running back out. And you're
Okay,
wearing
so
different
now
clothes.
we're getting to the good stuff.
See, what I like about being animated, it seems that the animated female characters are attractive and and they don't have to do any work.
I think you're revealing more about yourself than you intended to on this podcast already.
But it's true. Like Jessica Rabbit, all the female chipmunks, for example.
No, they don't feel that way.
That's the third time we've gone
I
back
know,
to
all
rodents
the
being attractive.
Disney princesses, they are all just perfect the way they are, and whatever is pretty about them is accentuated, and they're always in a pretty dress, and they don't have to apply makeup or get ready or do anything. They're just they're just perfect as is. So that's the appeal for me, for a woman.
There's a lot of flaws that you don't get when you're animated. Like your complexion is fine. Like it's a single color.
Your hair is perfect. You always have a dress.
You just always have a dress?
Or you're just always dressed well.
Well,
that's the thing. And that's the same thing. You can get changed at a drop of a dime.
Yeah,
you
everything's all set.
So I'm actually going to consider that as a cost that I'm going to throw. I'm going to pitch the first possible cost here.
Okay.
A lot of cartoon characters only have one outfit.
Yes, most. That's true.
It's pretty common that they have one look. And so is it possible that the cost is just you're an animated character, but there's literally only one thing you're allowed to wear?
Yeah, I mean, like, to me, would be like, as long as it's a good outfit, I suppose. And if the world's already used to like animated people, I feel like that's not terrible cost.
Yeah, it's maybe not that bad. I think it'd be kind of a bit funny.
I have a cost ready, though.
Okay, let's go to Taylor then for your first cost.
My first cost would be like anything. So you live your life as an animated character, and you don't necessarily age because they don't really age. But at, say like whatever year, like at a reasonable year, like 85, that's when you will die. Like when your 85th birthday, you're gonna. But this is not the cost.
Maybe at the year you would go public domain, you die.
Yeah, but the way you die is everything you've ever done that a human being can't do. You have to experience it as a human being all at once. Oh, so like pulling a hammer out of nowhere, you pull it out of your body.
Ow!
Like all of these things that you've done.
Oh,
like anything that you've. Like, the anvil's being dropped on you, like getting shot or whatever, like silly things. All of them are going to happen in succession.
But then you'll die.
And then you die at the end of it.
But you were going to die anyway, just now that...
It's just going to be the most, possibly the most excruciating.
The worst way to go, basically, all at once.
Or what if it's the last year of your life is like that?
The last year is like every day. It's more.
It might take a year, depending on how many things you did, yeah.
Your eyes pop out of your head every day.
Oh, that's going to hurt. Every time you find an attractive person, your eyes pop out?
That has to happen.
That's
not your fault.
Yeah.
No, and it would hurt.
It would hurt a lot.
Yeah.
But also that would be so embarrassing every time you see someone who's attractive. Instead of being able to be like, hi, nice to meet
your
you.
Tongue
you do that.
Yeah.
And then you're just like,
and your tongue folds out.
The beating of your heart out through your chest in a heart shape. Oh, that's that's not good on your ribs.
But that's it. That would be my cause. Is the all of the advantages you've had are taken away painfully.
I think a lot of people will be willing to, just because everyone's willing to delay the cost till the end, right?
That's a good point.
Like I'm going to invest in lots of things that I don't have to pay for 50, 80 years.
I have two possible costs. The first one is that if you took the wish of being animated, you would be the only one. So no one else in the world is like you. And
so does that become weird for other people too? Or do people treat you like they understand what you are?
No, well, maybe in time. But at first it's like, you're a weirdo. You might be on a bunch of talk shows and it might be fun at the beginning.
But I guess how weird is it? Yeah. Like,
the government.
Is it, am I hallucinating weird? Or is it like, I have a weird name weird? Like I have a weird condition. I have a rare condition. Type of weird.
It's a rare condition, but it's still like with any kind of rare difference in someone, people are afraid, they judge you, and then they might also think you're really cool and only be your friend for that reason. All the bad things that come with being different, even though being different is good, like in this case it would be, the consequences are that you're the only person and that's how you'd be treated. That's one idea. My other is, as you said, you could be immortal and you never die, but everyone else that you love will age and die, and you'll just be stucking around.
Well, that's just like, I guess it's just like what would happen if you had immortality.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's
anyways.
The cost of immortality.
So just basically that.
Yeah, I think that one's kind of built into all of them if you're just living for a long time. And even if it is just you can't die from trauma, then still a lot of people are going to go before you do, because imagine being in a car crash and everyone else dies horrifically with lots of trauma, and you just fly out through the windshield and have a big bump on your head.
That you just push down.
That you push down and you're fine. But you're still like, all your friends just died, and you're going to have so much survivor's guilt.
Well, maybe that should be the thing, is that, or like maybe a cost would be anything that you do that would kill somebody does kill somebody somewhere else. Like a human being has to take the damage you take.
Oh, that's so evil to take. Well, I mean,
it's evil, but you would,
because if you're going to use it, you're going to use it. But then, I don't know, like It's one of those things that it's a price for good people and it's not a price at all for bad people.
But if I was animated, I'm not going around like you guys keep talking about all the things that happen in cartoons, getting bumped on the head, pulling out hammers, getting shot, being fine. I would just go around looking damn good. Like I would not care.
That's your main focus.
I wouldn't care about getting hurt or I would not aim to find any of those dangerous things.
And there would be no judgment for the amount of sex you had with animals. Because people are like, well,
too.
clearly she's an animated character. That's probably what they do.
It starts with N. Perfectly. It's close enough. The squirrels would come. That sounded bad.
It does.
That's not what I meant.
That I now question.
Oh my God.
You brought up squirrels and rodents a lot. And we did not.
You watch Sword of the Stone. They're strong.
They're not that sexy.
They are.
I've seen it so many times. The thing is, two of them are, one's a really old squirrel.
Okay, not him.
With a giant mustache.
Not him. I don't think.
Okay, you're thinking Arthur, because you probably saw it when you were a kid, I assume.
Yeah, and
I can't believe we're back on this conversation.
I know.
Arthur and the
Lancelot.
but you remember
Merlin.
that he breaks her heart?
Yes.
When he leaves, and then
I was like, ooh, a challenge.
Oh, that's not healthy.
I think
Chelsea.
I also liked Five.
How did it become? You had a thing for Five?
I was like, don't go west, come back.
Oh.
Okay, let's get back on topic.
We're going to come back to this soon, I'm sure. Anytime we mention any animated rodent, not even, it's like, we mention Sylvester, like, yeah, not Sylvester. I really prefer the chipmunk to fuck.
He had human features, and he was wearing a vest, I'm pretty sure.
Is that what it takes to win you over? Just stick a vest on any rodent and it's good to go?
I'm going to tell you right now, he wasn't wearing a vest.
What? I'm pretty sure. In my memory, he was.
You put a vest
Or maybe
on.
I'm thinking of AC Slater. I don't know.
I understand.
Okay, I have to come up with something now. And I didn't have something super ready, but this is what's been tickling my mind. Because I'm trying to think of something to do with being animated, but also being real. Something that would still be bad. So you're immortal from trauma. But to live, you have to eat and drink paint and ink.
And it tastes just the same.
Yeah, it tastes the same.
But it won't kill you.
It won't kill you. No, that's what you now have to do to stay alive. And if you get hurt, it costs ink. So you have to eat more ink and paint.
That's all you can eat and drink is paint?
I mean, you can eat a cartoonishly large ham if you want,
and it'll be a ham shaped in your belly.
Yeah, but that's just for
But it tastes
for the
paint.
aesthetics of it. No, the only thing that you can eat that gives you substance is if you eat ink or paint.
So wait, if I eat a pizza, like a full pizza that I slice up and throw in the air, and they each go down my throat?
Right, you taste it.
I can still taste it,
but it wouldn't give you any substance.
Pizza. No substance.
Oh,
so you're for survival. And for repair from damage, you have to eat.
So how much paint do you need to have just to say just for a day, and nothing bad, no trauma, just a regular day?
Not like one of those big gallon cans, but like one of those smaller cans you get. I don't know what the pint size.
Oh, and you have to just
a pint of paint. Maybe
I've never had paint. Is it bad?
It doesn't taste good. It's not good.
It don't taste good.
Every so often, your old paint drinking days come out of you.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had a lot.
Don't drink too much.
Paint.
I mean, if it's watercolors,
I think this is a very legitimate cost. It makes sense.
There's some logic to that.
Logically, it makes sense. But I do feel like you would get used to it. You would be like, I'm going to do my pint of paint today.
Like it's a vegetable.
How bad do vegetables taste to you, Chelsea?
Okay, it's a bad vegetable that you don't like. Sometimes you just mush them up and just choke it down.
Yeah, I don't eat those.
I just refuse.
I have no examples, but I
just basically broccoli, carrots, some lettuce. I'm also probably dying of malnourishment. But
if you're all that paint and you're having and no vegetables.
Yeah.
Just broccoli, carrots, and lettuce. You're a rabbit.
Yeah.
So you
be careful.
Yeah, she's a rodent.
Don't put on a vest.
Oh no, I like vests.
Oh no. Okay, so if you have a pizza, it tastes like pizza.
It tastes delicious. I would still think.
So you can still have good tasting food, and you'd eat it in the comically cartoonish fashion like Taylor described of throwing them up in the air and having them go down your throat one at a time.
But wouldn't the true cost be that all this good food you want to eat tastes like paint?
Oh.
You smell the pizza and you really want to eat it, and it's just paint.
Every flavor you have is paint.
It's like Hook when they pretend to eat, but it's just paint.
that famous scene in Hook where they ate a bunch of paint.
I don't think that's accurate.
You mean the imagination food? They didn't eat anything.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Okay.
That's not it.
We can do it that way. Yeah, that they could have it shaped like whatever. I kind of wanted them to be able to eat food because I feel like cartoons get excited about food. But yeah, that's a way to do the
But
cost.
that would
Just
be a good thing, and then they could just always wash down the paint with a real pizza. That's not good.
Okay, I'm going to throw another cost out. All right, so the other cost would be that you can't have any real relationships with people because you're a cartoon. Like, if they set you up for a joke, you have to do the joke because, like, in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, like, he's handcuffed to Valiant, like Bob Hoskins' character.
Yeah.
And he's trying to, like, and the gang members are coming, and so Eddie Valiant's trying to, like, saw off the handcuffs that they're attached to because they're looking for Roger Rabbit. So, like, it's this crazy, like, situation of hiding Roger Rabbit while handcuffed to him the whole time. And at the very end, Roger Rabbit takes his hand out. Because he wasn't really
right. His hands can go through handcuffs.
Why
no
would
problem.
you do that? He's like, because it's funny, and that was his response. It's because it wasn't funny enough. I couldn't do it until it was at this point. Like you're like the thing is
you're restricted by
you're locked
cartoon
into
logic. You have to act in the way that a
You
cartoon
can't
would.
not, yeah.
So if someone's like crying really, and you're trying to be sympathetic, like it's.
Honk, honk.
You're like
or,
tapping their head like
Yeah.
really like over
There,
exaggerated.
there.
Like there. Oh, I gotta make you a cake and then slip and fall in the cake. You can't help it. These things will happen.
Just be
So
comical.
I would assume all your relationships are destroyed.
Yeah, like, like your his friend says, my wife left me, and he's like, your wife? Oh,
Exactly. So you wouldn't have friends. You might be able to meet somebody who loves
Do
you.
you think she's taking new suitors already?
where's my vest?
Okay,
So that would
yeah.
be my cost is that you have to live your life
Yes.
like a
By
cartoon.
cartoon logic. Where I'm wondering on this one is, so if we deal with the type of person who wants to be a cartoon in the first place, are they the type of person who would be fully okay with just living that life? Like,
Maybe that's part of the wish, to not have to worry about.
is that why they wished that way? They
just
wanted
kind
to
of float
live
through life as funny,
a
likable,
comic relief.
Yeah, that's true.
Some
Like I guess
people-
if they wished for it, like that's maybe what you wanted to have. But
Yeah.
I would. I guess that's what we're trying to get to. The
Being able
bottom
to
of.
not turn it off is obviously a problem for
And we'll
how
get
you're
to
gonna.
You can
people are
only
gonna hate
sleep
you.
for like 5 minutes at a time, but it's you like Z's coming out of your mouth like very very like obviously asleep, but you have to wake up within 30 seconds. So
Yeah.
you never can
or
sleep.
you don't
very well.
sleep. You take commercial breaks.
Oh.
Whenever you try to sleep, it just turns into a
After
commercial
these-
break.
You're the big raisin. After these are messages.
And just like whenever you close your eyes to sleep, it's just commercials play until you wake up.
Yeah, I do think it's a good cost in the sense that like cartoons are 22 minutes or so of like just chaos. But imagine doing that for hours and hours and hours and hours every day for the rest of your life. You're not allowed to like I just want to go see a movie. Like no, you can't.
No.
You would never sit still during a movie.
Yeah.
You would be very loud during the movie. You would eat popcorn animatedly, and then people would be like, keep it down over there. And then the more you try to keep it down, the more loud you become, even if
Yeah.
you wanted to.
Yeah.
Or like, I want to make love to this person. Honk, honk, pull. I don't
Exactly. Like,
Yes, those are the sounds
Can you
sexist.
stop pulling my privates?
and sex wouldn't be sex. It would just be the blanket would come over top
Yeah.
of you, and it would just be a lot of
Just
moving.
moving around.
and hearts coming out. And,
Exactly.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's horrible. I don't think I would take that one.
I
I'll
think,
tell you
I think
that.
that's how you would have to experience life as a cartoon.
Yeah. I think you can do it other ways, but I can see that as a fair cost of just like you have to
Yeah.
fall into cartoon logic.
Because some people would like that. Like some people that have, heavy lives, heavy things to deal with, they might think they want that as a nice break. Just kind of being liked by everybody and making people laugh and having wait a minute. I'm talking about comedians.
Yeah,
My
actually,
God.
a lot of the time.
I'm talking about myself.
Yeah.
No. Because I bet you some people would still choose to take it.
And you wouldn't be able to be a comedian. You
No.
would ruin every show. You
Yeah.
wouldn't do improv. Your stand-up would be a parody of someone else's stand-up.
That's true.
Oh,
Like it would just be
yeah.
you in front of a brick wall wearing a vest.
No matter what theater you were in,
Smoking
a
cigarettes.
brick wall
I'm
would
in.
appear behind
Yeah.
you.
And you basically just start doing really
What's the
crappy
deal
bits.
with-
Yeah,
Yeah.
What's
what's
the deal with stuff? Oh, that's so bad. All right, I think we've each put out at least one cost.
But I think also with that one, the living your life, I don't think you should die. I think you do live.
you think
until the
yours
end
has
of
immortality.
time. Yeah, that's the thing is you are a cartoon.
Again, that becomes almost a cost in itself. If you can't die,
like you're just like you're this cartoon character. Like I would assume like when I say the end of time, I mean like the end of like say like
the
anybody
heat
who
death of the universe.
May sweeps.
No, like basically, well, until until end of people end.
Yes.
Like not
Who
this the end
knows?
of time, but
That is-
when cartoons are no longer referenced, like the
Oh,
references.
okay. As soon as
wouldn't-
cartoons aren't a thing anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Like you were doing these bits, but like no one. I don't understand why you're like. you know.
This terrible 100-year-old cliche doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah, you start
oh
losing-
no, I cease to exist.
Yeah,
Or what's
exactly.
a squirrel? Squirrels are gone. Just
Let it
going.
go. Just let it go.
Just let it go.
They're not attractive. It's wrong. It's just wrong.
Put a vest and a nice bangs, some nice bangs on him.
I'm not going to judge, but I
very-
am concerned.
He's very strong. He pulled that sword out.
Not as a squirrel.
I guess he
as
did.
a boy.
Oh, I
He was
don't-
not a squirrel.
Okay, I don't remember that part.
He also turned into he also turned
Chelsea
into
has
a
turned the entire film into the squirrel version. She just put the squirrel
he
over
also
all.
turned into a fish.
Oh, I wasn't attracted to that.
What about the bird? He turned into a bird.
I
as
don't
well?
recall. Only the
So
squirrel
you
stuck
it
in my
is like
mind.
very
It's a squirrel
specific
specific
rodents.
fetish.
Or Fievel, what was he?
He's a mouse.
Mouse. It's a rodent fetish
yeah.
for
So
sure.
you know, there's this subculture called furries where you can
Yes.
dress up as these animals.
I've heard
and
of them.
I think
Do you see
have.
yourself as a rodent?
No, I don't want to be one. That's preposterous.
But I'm saying if you saw a guy dressed as the King
Alvin.
Arthur like squirrel in his furry costume, like would it be slightly more attractive? To
Yes. Or if I was a
Did not expect
human
that admission so willingly.
and I could choose Alvin or
And now I do wonder. So if and we're not doing this for the scenario, I just want to do this for this moment and just for Chelsea. But if you were an animated character and you were also an animal, what animal would you be as an animated character?
a rabbit for sure.
A rabbit. Okay, so still in the rodent family.
Yes, but I wouldn't be one of those
you
tall,
want-
pale rabbits like Winnie the Pooh. I'd be
Winnie the
Whoa.
Pooh is a bear.
no on Winnie the Pooh. His friend rabbit.
He has a friend rabbit. Okay.
Oh, right.
That who's-
We thought you were crazy.
who
there
is
for a
naked.
second.
Have you noticed?
No,
Yeah,
that's
most
not the
animals
first
are
thing
naked.
I look at when I
I
watch Winnie the
noticed.
Pooh. He's like, you see how fucking hot rabbit is?
Rabbits-
No, he's too tall for me.
You think rabbit's a man? I thought it was a woman.
I think the rabbit's a
Rabbit's a
man.
guy.
Oh, I have a lot to think about. Oh no, I thought it was a very stern woman. A stern
You need
naked
to pay more
woman.
attention when you watch animated
Stop
shows.
looking at their junk or lack
I
thereof
think
in these scenes.
I need to rewatch these because at first glance as a child, I have a lot of misconceptions.
Apparently. Okay,
Anyways.
so let's reiterate the wishes that we settled on. So Taylor had that you have to act like a cartoon. You can become a cartoon, but you had all the advantages, but you have to act the way a cartoon would, even if stuff is funny and inconsiderate.
And I think as a little like side note with that one is you could still do things like day to day, like, oh, I'm going to go do this. But if something comes up, like that becomes a cartoon situation, like it's impulsive. Like you have to. Do it.
Yeah. Mine was that you have to eat ink and paint. And I think, yes, all your food would then also taste like ink and paint, just to make sure that you actually have to. No, you can't taste all the pizzas. They taste like paint.
That'd be too easy.
That'd be too easy. That's a way out of it. And Chelsea's was that you're the only animated person, and that is weird, and everyone makes a deal out of the fact that you're the only animated person. Which one feels most balanced to start?
Yours is a super minority, right? Like it's like a
Yeah, you're a
like-
single
like,
minority.
You're like the and so some people will hate you or think you're
Yes.
a demon
Yes, but you'd also be very popular.
or not
Or not,
Depending on
yeah.
how the world turns.
It could
against
be
you.
similar to the movie Splash, or the movie
I think
that
there were
is
other
like
mermaids in
Splash.
Splash, weren't there?
No,
Not on land, but like in the ocean.
we didn't. Oh, maybe
I think that was a literal fish out of water story.
Well, what about that other one that is like Splash that just won Best Picture?
The Shape of Water.
Shape of Water? I don't know if he was the only
Okay,
one.
we just go into the
but-
fact that The Shape of Water is
It's
a
not-
plot where the woman has sex with a fish monster.
Yeah.
And this is the one you brought up. Right now.
Oh no, I didn't
So I'm
see
just saying,
it.
I feel like you have so many things you need to work out.
How did it all come out now?
She's just not sexually attracted to human beings, okay?
Well, he is no rodent. That's for
But
sure.
that's fair. That's fair. You are right on that
And
one.
he was not wearing clothes. No vest was to be found.
I'm sure
No
you were
vest.
watching.
I looked. But yes,
What were we talking about?
I was
Oh,
saying
we're
you're the only animated person in your community, so you could be, people could treat you like it's a
be
cool
tortured.
thing.
Yeah, you
but you
could
could
be
also be
researched, yeah.
splashed or shape of watered.
There's a lot of the danger there, I think.
Yeah. But
Okay.
also a lot of talk shows.
I think if everyone's going to treat me weird and I have to explain that I'm a cartoon to everyone, I don't think I would take that. Like, I think for me, that's a straight out, like, no, I don't want to have to go over. I'm a cartoon. That's a thing.
But you'd be
Sometimes
special.
people are cartoons. I want to be special. I don't want to be that special.
Okay.
But you still have all the abilities we were talking about,
Yeah,
right?
and eventually people will be like, okay, it's,
But they'd be surprised every time. Every time you pull a mallet out from behind your back, everyone's like, "What?"
Oh, yeah, that's
no,
true.
like I'm a cartoon. That's what I do. Like,
Or
don't
they'll-
make a
That's
deal
your
of
go-to
it.
example. Is like when I need a mallet.
Mallet,
Because
yes.
we need mallets
You
all the
always
time.
do.
Or they'll be like, cool, are you single?
Are you just thinking, who are you trying to sleep
I
with?
don't know. People are single, in my opinion, everywhere. Rodents, people.
But to me, there would be if there is a furry culture, then there is a culture of people like, oh, I'd have sex with a
There
girl.
Oh,
are,
yeah.
I don't think being animated would rule out sex.
I think it would increase.
Yeah.
But again, then it still might be that weird under the sheets making noise
Yeah, that's
thing.
true. We don't know.
Well, if we went with Taylor's.
If it was mine, then it would be with her.
For sure.
I guess
I-
it's you can still
I
live
still
your
don't know.
life.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's enough material online to say that it can be done. I think I'm leaning more towards mine or yours, Taylor. Do you guys have any strong opinions?
Yeah, I think mine is a little too lopsided. Like the bad might outweigh the good.
It just feels like annoying. Having to explain
Yeah.
what I am to everything.
Even though I think it could be cool, it would be just as cool, depending on where you go.
Yeah. I kind of like the idea that everyone just accepts that you're a cartoon, though. Like, I kind of like the
To
weird
start
absurdity
with.
to that. Yeah.
Okay, so I think logically it makes sense is the paint one. Is that it's like you have to consume paint. to
Consume paint,
survive.
and all your food tastes like paint. Yeah.
Yeah, like you can't just stuff a pizza with some paint on it and keep trying to do that over and over because you can't eat probably like an insane amount.
Yeah. You can eat as much cartoonish as you want. It'll taste like paint, and then you have to eat paint to survive as well.
It shouldn't be paint. It should be like poo.
Well, no, you're an animated character, so it's like paint or ink or pencils. It's stuff that people would use to
So
make
yeah, I guess
cartoons.
you could still eat if you only ate lead for a while. Then
Like
you
graphite,
would,
yeah.
you would slowly turn into that color.
That
Like, you don't
color,
have
yeah.
you don't have the.
But it should be something that like is hard to eat. Is paint easy to eat?
What? Do you want some?
Like, oh, okay.
You want me to go get
I'm
some
a very
paint for
picky
you?
eater anyway. I think I would.
Yes, it's paint.
I think I would choke it
Have
down.
you never painted? Like,
I have, but it's never gone in my mouth.
none of us have
It doesn't
ever
taste
eaten
good
paint.
on purpose. You always
have
get a
you-
little. I get
I
a
think
little.
Maddox has had some.
I've had a lick.
What do you mean? I'm the only one here who's not. Who would have had paint?
I have not.
Again,
Wait, so
I've never like chugged down a bottle of paint, but I've like tasted it because like
I've
it got
never tasted it.
got some on my face
Because
or
it's poisonous.
But did you hate it enough that you were like, this would be a good consequence?
yeah,
It's paint.
it does not taste good to eat.
See, like
Look, you
I
don't
would
smell
say,
paint.
if the only thing I could eat was like oysters or something, then I
It
would
just doesn't
be like,
make
I am
sense with
not
the
being
cartoon
charged.
thing at all. It's so off topic.
That's true.
Paint makes sense. Like anything that you use to animate. You say if you started eating, would if you started eating computers,
Or what
could I
about
slowly become a
CG?
3D animator?
what about dynamite?
Yeah, you could totally eat dynamite. and your
yeah,
body
you-
would just like puff out for a second.
Yeah,
like
that just
that.
wouldn't
yeah.
be
And then you-
nutritious. There's no nutrition to eating
And
dynamite.
then you burp.
Paint
No,
flavored
little smoke.
dynamite.
I don't know about the computer animated thing. Yeah,
I feel like if
It
we're
would
going by your logic,
it would still be unpleasant to eat. So yeah, if you eat enough computers,
but
you could become CG.
it'd be pointless to go CG because the whole point of CG is to get more and more looking like a real person. And you're just
No,
getting
it is.
closer.
Like, I mean,
Well,
not
it
really.
depends. Like, unless
It's
you're going
just
Pixar.
Yeah, no, it's just. I think it's just a aesthetic choice at this point.
Yeah, we're all picturing, like you said, like Looney Tunes and
Yeah, we're not getting to the point of being like hyper realistic CG. I'm talking about Pixar-esque cartoony. So yeah, if you eat enough computers,
I could
then-
look like someone from The Incredibles or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
this is off topic a little bit, but remember Fern Gully?
yeah.
Did you want to have sex with the bat?
There was a bat?
There was
Robin
a bat.
Williams.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. I just remember
He was a fruit bat,
a
wasn't he?
jungle or something.
a fern.
A fern, it was a fern.
It was a gully of ferns.
I gave that puffy VHS away to my friend and I never got it back.
And I assume
feel
you
like
never
you-
will.
Yeah.
Sonia, give me Fern Gully back in Ottawa, Ontario.
I feel like the animation style in that was purposely very sexy, so I don't think you should give her that tape back.
Yeah, because she's not gonna be okay.
She's not gonna be okay with that.
I need
She's
it.
like, oh, are they?
No one should let Chelsea
Little
Larkin
fairy
watch
people.
Fern Gully. It is unsafe to do so.
I did watch it a lot. And I don't remember why, but if there was a bat, that might be why.
You should never be alone with children to watch a movie. Like, guys, let's watch The Lion King.
That is
Guys.
another type of rodent too. It's definitely a rodent thing that she's
That's
got
totally what
going.
she's-
Yeah,
it's
that's
in the
her
back of
thing.
her head.
And what about Arthur? Remember him?
He's an
Yeah.
aardvark.
Oh, not interested.
I have limits, okay? Aardvark's is
I thought he was a teeny bear.
No, he's an aardvark. Arthur the aardvark.
Oh,
All right, so let's wrap it up real quick. You know what? I think if was just eating paint and ink and stuff, I think there's a lot of advantages to being a cartoon. I think I would take it. I think I could put up with that.
Yeah. Because
So-
you can still eat stuff and it tastes like, oh, yeah.
No, you wouldn't. It would all taste like
of
paint. We specifically want that. So you're losing all your flavor palettes. But I'm not a picky. Well, I'm a picky eater, but like I don't need to eat good things so much. And there's a lot of advantages to being animated, like basically immortality, and not having to carry things, and being able to walk on the air for a bit,
Looking good all the time.
looking good all the time.
girl-
I guess, yeah,
cartoons.
so the downside is just the fact that you'll
Getting
never
changed quickly.
enjoy
Food,
food. And it's something
and
you
you'd have
need
to go buy
have
paint,
every
which
day.
would be weird. Yeah.
And yeah, you have to spend all the money you make on
Yeah.
I don't know if paint is more or less expensive than food.
Yeah, either way, but you would probably like I guess
It's probably easier. You just have your fridge
but
is
if
full
you're
of paint.
animated, you don't get all the advantages of certain little things. Whereas like
what?
for paying something, you still need to pay with real money. Like you can't just show them animated coins. Like we're not going to accept that, right?
You could probably give them a big bag with a dollar sign on it.
I feel like so that would be you would still have to make money somehow.
You'd still have to make
in
money
yours.
somehow, yes.
But yeah, so but you just can't enjoy food, and you need a job
Yeah.
because you need to buy a lot of.
You need to
paint.
buy the ink, yeah.
Well, I mean, your fridge could be filled with paint buckets, and you just do a pint.
Yeah.
I think you have to take it by spoon and make it really
make it slow.
slow as possible.
You're sitting in front of the TV, just spooning paint in your mouth.
Who knows? Maybe years later you get to a point where like, I really don't like this kind of paint, but I really like this paint.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
that's
you
what
might
get.
actually, there might be differences in flavors. There's still a flavor.
When that gets easier.
Like those shows where that show called Strange Addiction, when people eat like couch cushions and
Oh,
paint
they would
chips.
take this for sure. Yeah,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
got to be
You
someone who
If
eats
I
paint
put
already.
into Strange Addiction your obsession with rodents, it might make it
We
to an
might get on
episode.
air, yeah.
Was
Yeah.
it that guy who had sex with his car?
Cartoon.
Remember the guy who was
Oh,
like
yes.
the guy who was like in love with his car?
Do you mind if we submit you? Because actually, I could use that as really good promo for the podcast if you got on Strange Addiction based on this.
Well, it's only cartoon rodents. Let's
Yes.
be clear. And
They
they have
would
to
take it. They
be
would
wearing
take it.
some sort of clothing. I'm not.
They
an,
don't need pants.
I'm
they don't
no-
need pants, but a vest.
That is
a vest
not
or
required.
chapeau helps.
I think that just helps our chances that it's so specific. Animated rodents wearing vests.
I'm afraid to watch these again. I don't know what I'll
You
feel.
should be. Okay, but moving back onto the topic, would you take the wish? Would you want to be an animated character yourself if you just had to eat paint and ink?
I'm a very picky eater. I can barely smell a fish. So I would not take it. And there's no guarantee that there's going to be a vested rodent out
No.
there to date.
No, because you're
So-
probably the only animated person.
Yeah.
Everyone's just cool with it, but
I think I would feel lonely, and the paint I eat my feelings, and I would just be eating paint. So that would be awful. So I would not do it. It's not worth it.
okay. So I think Taylor and I are both.
I'm
game.
on take it. If
Yeah.
you can still live your life.
Yeah.
And you just have to have paint once a day.
Yeah,
Like at the bare minimum, but it's still if you get hurt and you use your powers
yeah.
for like
It's-
I
it's
jumped
how
off
you
a
can
top of
heal
a
yourself.
building.
So
I might have to eat like 3 jugs of paint.
Yeah.
But I'd still do it.
you got hurt bad,
And you maybe
enough.
could pour it into different orifices. It doesn't have to be your mouth.
Okay.
No.
Okay, this is where we're going next.
Just saying, it could
Why
be
would you bring
to
that
make
up?
it faster? Ears, eyes, nose.
No, you know we were talking about asshole. You know you're talking about putting a funnel into your asshole and pumping it in
At
there.
the same time, it helps the speed.
And why would you want to put it through your eyes?
Well, sometimes. No, I have no answer.
Nor should you. All right, everyone, that ends the episode. So you can become an animated character, but you will have to eat paint, ink, or apparently computer chips in order to maintain yourself and to repair damage. Taylor and I would. Chelsea would not. What about you, audience? Would you take this wish? And are there any other wishes you'd like to hear us break down? Well, that's what we came up with, but we want to hear from you. Your wishes, your thoughts, whether you take this wish or not. You can find us on Twitter at breakawishpod, email breakawishpod@gmail.com, join the Break-A-Wish discussion group on Facebook, and you can support the show by writing a review, telling a friend, or donating on our website. Find all this information at breakawish.ca. For more Chelsea Larkin, follow her on Twitter at ChelseaLarkin99, and for more Taylor Davis, he directs and narrates Max Justice, an improvised, episodic, narrative cop dramedy the first Monday of every month at the Social Capital Theater. Look up Max Justice Improv on Facebook. This has been a Kicks and Giggles entertainment production hosted by Maddox Campbell, themed by Matthew Reed, cover art by Justin Langford, and a proud member of the Sonar Podcast Network. More podcasts at thesonarnetwork.com. Before I go, some wishes don't take a whole episode. I call these summary judgments. Dale Velvet Wells wished to be infamous. So you're famous throughout history for your life story, but everyone pronounces your name wrong and also gets a few key details wrong, like your hair color or that you like to wear cowboy boots. You never wore cowboy boots. So, what would you wish for?
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network. Sonar!
Ever wonder where actors really go inside their minds?
Or maybe just what the difference is between being depressed and being an asshole?
I'm Kaylee LeGrand.
And I'm Tanya Bevan.
And if you have similar shower thoughts, listen to us knuckleheads on We're Totally Not Okay.
But that's okay.
A podcast about the intersection between mass media culture and mental health.
Come check us out.